Hello and welcome to the Hardy Brain, the show that takes athletic, introverted entrepreneurs and leaders and transforms them into ironclad brain performers. I'm your host, Dr. David Hardy. And today on our show, we've got another amazing guest. He is a unique super connector, host of the popular podcast, Doing Business with a Servant Heart, and has spent 40-some years as a business mentor. Welcome to the show, Steve Ramona. How are you doing today?
We're friends now. I'm going to call you Dave. Dave, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to share some great stories.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this. Now, where are you out of?
I'm in Northern California, San Jose.
Okay. I love that area. And I lived actually down went to chiropractic school in Atlanta, and then I practiced in North Carolina and then in Ohio. And yeah, I'm Canadian. And of course, I always kind of got picked on or bugged by my US friends there. Oh, yeah, how nice and polite we were. And and that seems to be like our international branding as Canadians.
It's beautiful.
And for Americans, though, there was something that surprised me when I moved down and lived there, and that was just how much service was an ethos for Americans. And unless you're like in America and all these places, you don't really feel it. But it's everything from, of course, military service to business to sales to all sorts of service clubs, every group. And
melting pot. That's the first that comes to my head. Yeah.
And it's really the glue that holds everything together there. And what's your thoughts kind of on service and that ethos, and how do you really strive to provide that? And I'll just let you go for it.
No, and Dave, thank you, and great for being a chiropractor. Side note, my chiropractor I've been with 20 years. He actually saved my life, and we'll get into that story. So I love chiropractic. Shout out if you get any problems, reach out to Dave because it works. I've been doing 15, 20 years with football injuries that have kept me upright and standing and walking. But with service, I mean, just this morning, Dave, I got pitched on LinkedIn. Hey, I could help your podcast. You're doing this wrong, and here's what I got to help you. First off, audience, don't tell people what they're doing wrong when you first meet them. It's not really a good start. You don't meet a woman or a woman meet a man and go, I really like you, but your hair's too long. I don't know if the relationship would go long. And we forget that because we're doing these relationships every day. We know how to do it as humans. I don't care if we're Canadians, Americans, Spanish, Brazilian, Italian, whatever. We're human by base. And I believe every human, good, bad, or evil, they have that service heart. It's your mindset to bring it out. And we need to bring it out more. The way the world is today, it's a crazy world. The more we serve, the more we uplift people, it's going to change the world.
Absolutely. So what's kind of a recent example then of kind of something that is like struck you is like, wow, if I'm going to write this down and share it with people because this was the example I love about service and how I provided it. What was that?
Yeah, about 5 years ago, when I mentor people, one of the things they ask me, you got so much energy and you seem happy all the time. I'm not happy all the time. Hello, public announcement here. And we're all not. We're going back to human. You're going to have bad days, good days, as well as I do. And I tell people to really pump yourself back up with a bad day or something happened in your life that day. Go serve. Go volunteer. Go give back to somebody, but just have that servant heart. So a day at 2:00, I left my office, which I rarely do. Just contract didn't get signed, couple no-shows. It was just a blip in the radar of my day. It wasn't good. So I went to the grocery store to buy groceries. And while I'm in the grocery store, I had this thought like, this lady had a baby in her arms. I'm going to buy her groceries. I'm going to serve her.
Yeah.
And the clerk, I always forget his name. I tell a story. We'll just call him Tim. And he's a surfer. I'm in California. Surfer dude. I've seen him before and go, hey, here's my credit card. I'd like to buy this lady's groceries. He's like, dude, who does that? I said, Starbucks. They go, in Starbucks, Dad. So let's just do it here and pay for her groceries. I pay for mine. We're walking out together. She's thanking me and introducing each other. And her name was Debbie. And she goes, Steve, I got to tell you something. She starts tearing up. Now I'm getting worried. Like, okay, I didn't want to upset you. And that's what I told her. She goes, no, Steve. These are tears of joy. My husband lost his job last week.
Wow.
And we don't know how we're going to pay for these groceries. And when I tell that story, I get goosebumps. And yeah, people are going to think what a great thing Steve did. And it was a good thing. But this is the power of serving people, uplifting, bringing value. I didn't know that story. I had no idea. I've never met her before. But having that servant heart to go take care of somebody, I just made maybe a major impact in their life. But Dave, here's the powerful thing. What is she going to do when she goes home?
Right.
Hey, hubby, this guy, Steve, and she's going to tell the whole story. I just, whether it's 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years, I changed their mindset by serving. And the only activity I did was serve. They're going to change their lives a little bit, and maybe they're going to share it with others. I don't know if they did or didn't because I never saw her again, but we hope that people will take that next step.
I love it. Now, what about in your business life then? Has there been a time you're like, I'll buy this customer groceries?
There's many. I'm mentoring a lot of people. I spent a lot of time with people for free. I believe give all your stuff away for free. Steve, why are you successful? Here, let me share it with you. Here's resources, tips from me and from other millionaires and billionaires I've worked with through my podcast. And I've got emails. So, man, that was one of the best meetings I expected just to get to know you. And you brought me value. You brought me this tip, introduction, whatever it may be. And it's so easy to do, but the mindset, we'll talk about brain, is what stops us. Well, I don't know Dave. I just met Dave today. Do I introduce him to this person? Is it going to be a good introduction? We start mathematizing it. I just made that in my head, like putting these numbers like, and I just say, do it because the outcome is not your problem. Because people go, you do so many introductions. Don't you worry about the outcome? I said, no, because it's an introduction.
Fair enough. Absolutely.
That's it. It's just an introduction.
So with this kind of web of connections, how have you kind of built this up? Like everybody says, connectors are the gold mine of businesses. And some people just have more of a knack for it, and others, they work with connectors. Kind of what's this relationship and how does it all come together, and especially with the things and projects you're doing?
And it's a great question. And an audience, if you're not listening to this guy's podcast, I'm going to start listening because this is great stuff. 18 years old, I got out of high school. I was going to play community college football. It didn't have a job, but my family had launched a health club. And so my cousin Jeff said, why don't you come work the front desk? And Jeff was very customer service oriented. He was my mentor for 10, 15 years. And to this day, he still mentors me if I can call him. But what I learned from him was, for example, people would come in and he'd go, say people's names. And the staff would go to me, Steve, I don't know, Dave. I haven't seen him for 3 weeks. I don't remember his name. Cheat and look on the computer screen. Because remember, they run their card in and it says Dave Hardy or Steve Ramona. Just say, Dave, have a great day. Or have a great workout. And then Dave, have a great day. You'll remember when they come in an hour later. Or if you got to, look it up. Or even better, audience, if you don't remember somebody's name or don't know it, ask. Hey, thanks for coming in. What was your name again? Oh, Dave. Dave, great. Welcome to the health club. That is so powerful because I've never had one person when I say that go, this guy's an a-hole. He didn't remember my name because people know we're all busy. That's a big, big tip. But what I learned working at the health club, because there were 40, 50, 60-year-olds coming in, Dave, very wealthy guys. Yes. And Tony, they're just in the area I lived was pretty fluent. And Tony came in one day, I'd become a friend because our relationship with Tony was, hey, welcome to the club. Hey, have a great day. To Tony, how's your grandkids? Tony, how was the Bali trip? Hey, Tony, enjoy your golf because he's going to play golf after the workout. As you can see, the relationship has grown. And to just, hey, Tony, to how's your life, Tony? Tony would ask me questions about my family and how's the health club and things like that. And one day he threw me a book. and it was called The Wealthy Barber. And he
Ah,
said,
yes,
coming back.
classic.
Okay, it's so
Oh
classic.
yeah,
This is 1980. So way
right.
back. It's still been around. And he said, I'll be back Tuesday. I want to ask you exactly. Well, you better read the book, because he was on me all the time. He wanted me to grow. He was mentoring me. And he came
Yes.
in Tuesday. He did exactly that question. So what's the book? I said, the Cliff Notes are, Tony, 10% of my income pushed away. Yep, that's it, kid. Just don't touch it. So a couple times I looked at it, but remember, this is $250 an hour. It's 1980. So it wasn't a lot of money, but it was still being put away. Well, 10 years later, I looked at the account and really had a good look at it. There was $68,000 in the account. I'm 28 years old. David, I thought I won the darn lottery, which I probably did in a sense.
Right.
But what really taught me this lesson about serving was I called Tony, because I still was connected. I said, hey, Tony, I looked at the account. I want to pay you $1,000. This was your job. He had retired, so he wasn't working anymore. No, I'm retired, but here's a lesson I want you to learn again. One was the book, made a lot of money. But two was, he says, Steve, because I served you and gave you that book and you took action, somewhere in my universe, or for your faith person, God came in and brought somebody into my life. And that's how I grew my business. And I went, mind blown. Cha-ching. That's what this is all about. So that was kind of my renaissance in this serving in business.
I love it. Now, a lot of people, I think, and perhaps you've mentored a few on this one, is they struggle with not necessarily connecting or being helpful to people and getting to know another person and doing all that work, or not even work, just connecting. And then if they're more of a friend, they have a problem then transitioning into dollars, money, business. Can you kind of speak to that? Like, how do you go from a connection? Is there a difference between friends doing business with friends? Or is there a special way to kind of change that mindset behind the transaction money situation?
I've never had a person ask a question like that. Similar,
Hmm.
but you really got deep, and I like that, because I built a principle for all this. And some of these words, your audience, you're going to hear them, but I kind of put them together in a principle called the ASLA Principle. And I laugh every time I say it, because I want to make an ass out of you and me. It's ASLA. It's ask, shut up, listen, and ask. Now, shut up really, people that go back, oh, shut up. One, they go,
Hmm.
what? And I use that word because it does have an impact. They go, well, wait a minute. When I stop, when I'm listening, aren't I shut up? I said, no. And the image you want to think about, Dave, and audience, is when you go into a Zoom room and there's 10 people in there and 5 of their videos are black. It's just their name or their logo. And that's fine. They maybe go into the bathroom, answering the door, somebody's talking to them in an office, whatever it may be. But are they truly listening? Have they really shut up and listened to what whoever's talking in the Zoom room is saying? And they're probably
Right.
not. That's what I'm talking about. And here's a tip. Use the ASLA principle if you want to be a guest on a podcast or be a podcast host. And you're doing it so well as that you asked a question, you shut up, you listened, and you asked another question. But it works in business. We can't transact with people unless we know them.
Right. You can't. Yeah,
Questions are the only way.
unless they're just coming in and you're a commodity at that point.
Yeah. You're Alex
Yeah.
Hormozi, Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
They throw something up there for $47. I just bought something for Alex Hormozi for $47. He's going to sell millions of dollars. But he spent time, ASLA Principle people, for years,
Right.
learning his craft. All the Gary Vaynerchuk, whoever you want to use, the people that you recognize those names. That's what they've done to learn and grow. Athletes. I'm a big sports guy. Well, you think Michael Jordan didn't ask questions and shut up when he talked to his coaches, whether it's his health coach, his physical therapist, his basketball coach, his speaking coach, whatever it may be. So it's the power of it.
I love it. Now, you've mentioned all these big names, big stars, everything. And yeah, of course, that's where the attention's at. But there's a handful of them. And well, where do you compare yourself to the big stars in in this world?
Wow. Another great question. I think two things. One, I probably serve more than them at times.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they can't because they're busy or people are coming after them, because they got money. Hey, Gary, I need, your brothers, your cousins, your family members, your friends from high school. So you've got to kind of control that. But I think the second thing is I'm willing to give abundance back, to give free stuff away. Alex Ramosi a multi-billionaire at 36 because he gives free stuff away all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a smaller level. What I'm learning through my podcast and my life experience and my work experience is be able to share some of these things I'm sharing with you today because of people I've met. But again, let's go back to the beginning that you started with so well, David, is I built relationships with these people. I've got 5 billionaires I met. A couple of them I still work with. I could reach out and ask them a question. Powerful.
Well, I love that concept of, okay, well, yeah, popularity. And yeah, when it's out in the media, it's popularity in general. And then when it's connections between people, it's popularity and being a good person and human. And yeah, everybody thinks of the big stars. But there's a lot of people, and it's not this dichotomy, you struggle and then you're ultra famous and successful and it's just a few people. Is that, yeah, you've got a portfolio of millions and everything else, and that's a high success level. And you're reaching out, and yeah, your podcast is gaining in traction and is there. So yeah, there's the ultra and then there's the high, and you definitely have future goals. So I think you were being a little kind of humble there to say, okay, well, yeah, so-and-so's giving this away, I'm doing it. And there is levels of it. And well, you've also on your podcast, you've had ultra successful and then people grinding through it. So what are kind of the lessons here in this whole progression of what people see and maybe think versus kind of the reality of the situations of, yeah, making a life, making a business, having purpose?
Yeah, shiny object syndrome. First thing comes to mind.
Oh, yeah, right.
Alex Ramosi, I just read this morning, so this is really convenient that we're talking about this on this show, was that entrepreneurs want to do multiple things. Yeah. That's not a CEO, that's a business owner, which is fine. But if you want to be a CEO and run, you've got to go through resilience. You've got to go through ups and downs. I mentioned to you, we lost a $20 million deal last year for our company. Massive allowance. Money I've never thought of I'd even talk about. But we were human for 24 hours and got back to the CEO. What was our next thing for our business? Not finding other shiny object syndromes to take us away. But okay, that didn't, what did we learn? We learned a ton from it for 10 months. So it was a $20 million failure that wasn't a failure, it was actually growth. Because today, me and my partner, Max, shout out to Max, we've just grown so much. It's amazing when we look at each other. He's almost 70, I'm 64. Power of this message too is if you're listening, you're over 50, so many opportunities to grow.
I love it. But so many people, when they get hit hard, like, yeah, $20 million hard is getting slammed, is at the time, nobody feels it. Like everybody says, yeah, it was a lesson and this. But what was the actual emotion when you got slammed that hard? I'm sure you weren't at that moment thinking, oh, this is going to be great. What a fantastic lesson. I wish I could get more of this.
Well, that's a really great question because we are human. We'll go back to that. And I remember the day when I got the call from my business partner and how the thing transpired. And I learned from one of my guests, and I can't remember the name, and a shout out to them. They talked about obstacles in your business are things that you just take of. You've got to be human for a little bit. And I put a pity party on for 24 hours. Like, but the next day, your mindset has to change. Your brain
Did you
has to
set
change.
an alarm for this one?
Yeah. I think my partner was probably great. Like, Steve, let's get off this train. Let's jump on another train. So it's good to have people, partners, and support and community, wherever that looks like for you. But, and it worked. Yeah, it hurt for months. I mean, I would go back and think about it. Again, being human, accept it. But just find other opportunities, because we so tie ourselves as humans to that one opportunity.
Right.
I'm going to be on Dave's podcast. I got to be the best I can be, or it's a failure. That's absolutely wrong. I can be the best I can. What transpires does. And you being a great host is becoming a great show, since this is what we're doing. But and I used to do it all the time, Dave. I used to be tied to results, and I wouldn't, do anything for a month. I go, oh, shoot, I just lost that big, that deal, or 4 people left my network marketing company I was in. I was like, oh, that's the end of the world for me. It never is. Because look at all the stories that are out there from these very 1%ers you're talking about, that came from nowhere. And I've got many of those on my podcast that came from nowhere and now are thriving.
Right. Now, what would be one of those stories, or rags to riches, or rock bottom up, that just sticks with you? It's like, yeah, this was the show and the story I go back to for inspiration.
Well, I felt this coming, so I'm glad you asked this question, because there's so many, and I can cliff note these. Alfonso James, who I interviewed a year and a half ago, at 17 was put in jail for a murder. He was not even there.
Wow.
He spent 32 years in prison, 5 years in solitary, because as humans, we take on the culture. He became a prisoner, even though he's innocent. He had to be a prisoner because he's around all this evil. And so he got in trouble and he got thrown into solitary confinement. Well, a priest came by and finally got him out of it and understood, you know what, you're in a bad place, you'll get out. And he did get out after 32 years. But one thing he told me, he's not super excited. Speaking gigs, he's doing well, but he's not the 1%, but he has a mindset of a 1%er. I said, how can you be so grateful? I don't know if I could do it, Alfonso, with everything the last 32 years you lost. You're 49. You lost a third of your life in jail for innocence. He stopped me and he said, Steve, I jump in my car in Wisconsin. I drive down to the lake by myself. I sit on the bench and I get to see the sunrise, the birds chirping as they fly by me, and the water ripple. Those little things in life I missed out in 32 years. Now they're big to me. And that's what changed me with losing a $20 million deal, or I lost $5 out of my pocket. Same scenario, much more impact, but let's go back to those little things. My dad used to say, hey, how you doing today, Dad? He'd go, I woke up vertical today.
Right.
Yeah. 85 years old. People were like, God, he'd be upset with him. That's the little thing. He woke up vertical. And I obviously I can never forget that. I've lost him in 17, but he's told me many, many times. But those are the things I started embracing that help us as humans get past this stuff that we tie into.
So going forward too, like obviously this is a grind, stressful, and the more resilience you build, obviously, the more stress tolerance you have with all of this. And earlier in the interview, you mentioned, yeah, most people think I'm energetic and I'm all around. What are the little things you do to keep yourself energetic and thriving in this world then?
Get up at 5:15 every morning. I've been doing it for 8 years. I believe it's 9 years.
But for some people, that drains them.
And it drained me. So I'm glad you said that, because it did drain me. It's like, I got to go to bed earlier. I used to be a night owl in my 20s, 30s. I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
us in our 20s, 30s stayed up later. But it's a discipline, it's a resilience of doing that. And what happens is, audience, when you get up early, and again, you could do it late if your schedule's backwards, get up when nobody else is up. And I get to do that. It's just me and my work and my Bible and my affirmations and things that I do. My ritual for just Steve Ramona. It has changed my life. It's got past a lot of these things that we talk about. That's one of the big things. The other thing is meet as many people as you can and get to know them. And if you can't bring them value with an introduction, a tip, or a resource, just edify them. I think I've edified you 3 times on this show today. I'm going to announce it. And I keep in my mindset when I meet people, jump on a show, jump on a one-on-one, how can I edify people? How can I uplift them? How can I be transformational? And it just changes the game because people want to meet with me again. I get 20 referrals a week, 15 referrals a week for my podcast, for my business, for different things. And that's the key of business. You need more people.
Right.
So here's a great tip I give out to everybody. Meet 10 new people every week. That will bring people to your network. Not all of them are going to connect. That's not the goal. It's to meet people. And I did this January of 2020. Yeah, 2020, right before COVID. COVID was 2020, yeah. And I didn't know COVID was coming, but I was part of a digital business card company. And I had gone through all my friends and family. I needed meet more people to sell this product because that was my job. So I decided I'd go through a bunch of networking, like 10 networking groups a week. And I did that starting January 2020. I just jumped on these meetings, meeting new people, jumping on one-on-ones. In 8 weeks, I met 500 new people, and I was the top sales guy in the company.
Nice. Wow.
And it's powerful because I didn't sell 500 people. I might have sold 50 people, 10%. But those 50 people referred me to other people. Oh, you got to see what Steve's got. Oh, my God, Steve. Because I built a relationship. Didn't sell them all the time. I brought them value on top of selling them. And then those other 450, some of them just gave me a referral. They weren't interested. They had a card already. They don't use those, whatever it may be. But they liked me so much, they're like, hey, you got to meet Steve. Check out what he's got. What a great tip to grow your business.
I love it. Now, this is a strength and something you've honed and practiced and trained for a long time. What in the business world of yourself is one of those drainers or something that you hand off to somebody else in the business who's like top notch at it?
That's a great question. My partner, Max, is a CEO. He's a business whisperer. I can't think of the other word I'm thinking of. He's been a CEO 8 times. He knows business. And I love him for it because I don't. And him being my partner for the last 18 months, I have learned so much from him. I'm a better businessman. So really leaning on mentors. And I use this thing I mentor. I guess it's a thing. I tell entrepreneurs, always look for mentors.
Yeah.
Shut up and listen. Shut up and listen. But here's the step they don't take, Dave, that hopefully they do when I tell them, is what you learn from Max, my business partner, or Ivan Meisner, BNI director, I think with millions of dollars, taught me stuff. Take that and share it with people that your peers or below, meaning they're coming up. Share out everything. That's how you can uplift and bring value to people. And of course, give them credit if you remember. For example, Mark Hunter, he's called the Sales Hunter. He's done, I think, billions of dollars in sales. He was on my podcast. And I'll never forget it. He talked about ego. And I went, Mark, I don't want an ego. Yes, you do. Because here's what you're doing, Steve. You're empowering greater outcomes. Changed my life. That was 2 years ago. I'm mentioning it today. I mentioned it when I meet people on podcasts. Let's share in this wealth of knowledge to uplift people. Let's not hoard it, hold it to ourselves. I'm not going to share anything. I worked really hard on this for 10 years. No, don't do that.
Fair enough. Now, you mentioned all these resources. Where do people find you?
Well, that's a great question. You can email me, stevr1961@gmail.com. I also have a business community where I'm taking this information and giving it to people every day. I'll bring something in I've learned. May not be from me, maybe from somebody else or something that's happened. I want to mentor more people, and it's hard to do one-on-one. A community is much better. So they can get the link. I can get you a link to my community as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And I appreciate all the sharing and everything you've done. So everyone definitely reach out to Steve. And, well, of course, stay tuned to the next episode of The Hardy Brain, the show that takes athletic, introverted entrepreneurs and leaders and transforms them into ironclad brain performers. Take care.